we are unitary in character, but states have their own rights, and it's a federal issue in the sense that a budget document you're designing and you're putting rule which is constitutionally accepted. The immediate reaction of BJP is always to step back and go into its favorite theme of nationalism. If you go back into the 1940s and 50s and 60s, basically the bedrock of the Dravidian movement is on two issues. One is anti-Brahminism and the second is the language issue.
Hello and welcome. I'm Srinivasan and this is Talking Sense With Srini. In this edition, we are discussing MK Stalin's controversial decision to replace the rupee symbol in Tamil Nadu budget. Joining me to discuss more is our editor-in-chief, Mr. Srinivasan. So thank you very much.
Yeah, hi.
Let me begin with you. Chief Minister MK Stalin has defended his decision to replace the rupee symbol with a Tamil Rupee. And, the AIADMK calls it a publicity stunt, and the BJP calls it as a move that could break national unity. What is your take on this?
Yeah, the whole thing started off with a day before the budget. Formally, Stalin unveiled a logo.
Mm-hmm.
And the previous years, I checked it, the previous year's logo contained the alphabet R, which is a kind of a mix of Devanagari and Roman script, which is designed by an IIT professor, IIT Guwahati professor. And the design is supposed to be like this. The top two lines represented a kind of, equivalent to what you see in Indian flag, two lines.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rupee represented was in that form. And it was a design competition through which
That's right.
in
Exactly.
2010 it was selected, and India has adopted that. But what Stalin tried by doing this is kind of, play his identity politics, which is basically extension of what he has been doing. If you notice last nearly a month or so, where he is trying to kind of reinforce the importance of Tamil for Tamil people and Tamil Nadu. So he has once again, on the eve of the budget, tried to use that as a symbol to kind of say that I reinstate my position on this issue. That's what he has tried to send the message through that. I think this message has been very strongly received if you see the kind of reaction you have been seeing from BJP.
That's right.
And also in general from very many political parties in the north. BJP obviously reacted very strongly. Annamalai said, imagine, why should you come out with such a symbol, which basically what? It's the Tamil equivalent of Ru.
Tamil Ru. Yeah,
Tamil
that's
Ru.
right.
So that's the alphabet which he has used, which they normally use everywhere. If you even flip the back of you have to flip the note you have, you will find Ru written.
Okay.
And that's how Rupee is written even in Tamil in a normal banknote which we carry in our pockets. So there's nothing unusual about it.
Okay.
But it drew an ire immediately, Annamalai, BJP chief in Tamil
That's right,
Nadu.
exactly. And Nirmala Sitharaman too had a very strongly worded statement against MK Stalin there. She raises, why didn't Stalin raise this when the symbol was adopted back in the Congress rule? And second, she says, the rupee symbol is internationally well recognized in global financial transactions. At a time when the Modi government is pushing for, cross-border payments through UPI, should we really be undermining our very own currency there? How do you see these statements?
Yeah, so the immediate reaction of BJP is always to step back and go into its favorite theme of nationalism, because that's the bulwark of all that they do. So as an ideology, nationalism, a very strong ideology which BJP represents, and therefore they want to reinstate that. Here, I think she used very strong words. Nirmala Sitharaman said that, it's a dangerous mindset.
That's right, yeah.
Which is basically in a way suggesting that, it's a divisive mentality which the Chief Minister is trying to express. Of course, as I said, Annamalai earlier said, it's how foolish it could be that it's your own Tamilian who has actually designed the original R the way India has adopted. and then why should you come out with another one? So so the attack is on the expected lines, that they would fall back upon nationalism as a identity.
So it's nationalism versus Dravidian sub-nationalism.
Exactly. So see, that's how Stalin is constantly using as a
Okay.
a counter to a very strong counter to what is coming from BJP. So that's the thing he's trying to use, and that's what is happening. That's what you're seeing in the state.
As you rightly said, she also calls it a dangerous mindset, and she also says this could promote secessionist sentiments in India. How legal is it for the state government to change the rupee symbol?
There are two aspects here. One is, let me first deal with the legal aspect as you, but it's a very brief one, and then I will also deal with the political aspect of it. See, legally, if you see that what is it they have used? They have actually used only a Tamil alphabet, and Tamil is, as per, it's one of the scheduled language in the constitution, or one among the 88 scheduled language, which is under section 8 of the constitution. It is adopted. So constitutionally, they are not doing anywhere. Second issue is federalism. It's we are unitary in character, but states have their own rights, and it's a federal issue in the sense that a budget document you're designing and you're putting RU, which is constitutionally accepted. Tamil Nadu has its own identity of its own prayer, Tamil prayer, Tamil
Thai
Vartikal, which they do at the beginning of everything. So I don't see much of a legal issue in this. It's more political in nature. And what we need to see is how this has evolved over the years. In Tamil Nadu, if you see, if you go back into the 1940s and 50s and 60s, basically the bedrock of the Dravidian movement is on two issues. One is anti-Brahminism and the second is the language issue. And the language issue is the one which really pitchforked very many important leaders from Tamil Nadu. One of them, who became chief minister later, was C. N. Annadurai. And subsequently, you have MK Karunanidhi. And these two gentlemen led those movements, the kind of anti-Hindi movement those days it was called, before Hindi was, a promise was given by the center that it won't be thrust upon you, and it won't, an exemption was given to Tamil Nadu that you can adopt a two-language policy in your education rather than the three-language formula, which included Hindi, English, and the mother tongue. So here it is only mother tongue and English. So these exemptions are given following all this agitation, which wasn't a normal agitation, which was quite an intense one. Many people were arrested and some died also. So therefore there are very strong, as I said, it's bedrock of Dravidian politics here. So therefore, for them it is extremely significant that they keep raising this issue as a bulwark against any other ideology that faces them. That's what has happened. As far as BJP is concerned, they too believe in identity politics. It is not as if BJP doesn't. And BJP has made many attempts in Tamil Nadu to get a foothold here, and they have not been, they're not met with much of a success here. So, see, one thing they've realized that Hindutva, the appeal of Hindutva in Tamil Nadu is not as much as it would be in the northern states, say Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh. Those kind of things do not work here. The second they tried is, they even tried doing some kind of a social engineering. The social engineering, which is extremely successful in Uttar Pradesh, where BJP could take out a chunk of, intermediate caste on the lower rungs. And then also take out a chunk of Dalit, votes, and then, create a new composition where they compose a new kind of an alliance with these, and they could win the election in UP. Right. And that social engineering they tried in Tamil Nadu also. That also didn't work. Then they also tried various other things because Tamil Nadu people are extremely religious. Vel Murugan, Vel Yatra, that also they tried. Then the other thing which also they tried to go with an alliance partner. AIDMK was their alliance in the previous elections, but then the alliance was broken off because of difference between Annamalai and Edappadi, one the main faction of AIDMK. Since then, it has not yet been resolved. And you face a new situation where, actor Vijay has also entered the scene. So Tamil Nadu battleground has become pretty tougher. It could be multipolar. In that scenario, BJP is still trying to figure out a new coalition. ADMK is slightly wary because it looks what happened in, Maharashtra, what happened in a way, now it could happen in Bihar too, where BJP makes first a coalition, willing to come as a secondary partner, but then after some time it could gobble up the main partner itself and form a government of its own. I mean, even that is an example before the regional parties here, especially ADMK, which is wary of BJP to some extent. So these are the issues on which they are very the BJP is not able to form any new this thing here. So therefore, they want to focus everything on this. And while they brought out these issues and try to increase their appeal in Tamil Nadu, a counter has come from DMK in this form.
Interestingly, there's no much of noise from the Congress party. The Grand Old Party's, the MP, Mr. Manikam Tagore, when reporters asked him for his stance, and he said, this, he sort of brushed aside the question, calling it a non-issue. They haven't clearly expressed their stance as far as the rupee symbol is concerned. In fact, the rupee symbol was adopted during Dr. Manmohan Singh's, government back in 2010.
Like BJP, Congress is also a national party.
That's
and
right.
national parties have a problem dealing with regional party, and especially when there is a very strong regional movement which stands against them. They find it extremely difficult. If you wind back, Tamil Nadu has been a very enthusiastic participant in freedom movement, and a lot of Tamilians participated, gave their lives for India's freedom movement, and it's been a very, very enthusiastic participant. They even identified and they recognized Mahatma Gandhi, and he, even today, if you go to Tamil Nadu villages, Gandhi is a very well-known, revered name as father of the nation, and people do revere him. But while all this happened, Congress party could not fail and could not succeed in converting this into political capital. So while Gandhi was acceptable, his Congress party wasn't. So they didn't recognize that. And Congress was pushed aside, and that happened because of the this whole language movement and the anti-Brahmin and self-right movement, which was started by Periyar. All these factors were responsible, which kind of almost thrown out Congress from the state. And you see, all these years, it's DMK or AIDMK which has been coming to power alternatively. So national parties always have a difficulty when they bring larger national perspective issues, and they are in multiple states, and each state has its own pulls and pressure. For instance, Congress, though it got a substantial number of seats in the recent election from southern states, but it is also, if it really aspires to come to power, it has to keep an eye on the northern states. And they are worried that they don't disturb this apple cart by saying anything which would affect their electorate in the north. So they are very cautious and not able to come out with a clear statement on that. And that's the reason, I think.
We at the Federal have been closely tracking MK Stalin's political statements in the run up to the elections next year. It seems like he's strategically sort of building a narrative for the election next year. While actor Vijay had previously garnered a lot of attention, where he could possibly be a potential disruptor through his TVK, the focus now has completely shifted to MK Stalin and the state government.
Yeah, I would slightly put it in a different way. We are facing a very interesting context next year. Tamil Nadu is going to go and face its assembly election in 2026. See, DMK has formed a very formidable coalition. And what is outstanding thing about this coalition is, though there are internal differences within the coalition partners, but they have managed to more or less stick together for various reasons, for their own compulsions or their own, inability to do anything else. So this coalition on its own is intact, and that's a positive thing for Stalin, that despite running this government for 4 years, and next year, 5th year, when the elections will happen, more or less the coalition is in place, which is one major advantage in his favor. And and the other thing is the polity is very much divided, and as I said, it could become multipolar. And these two things, two factors, really help Stalin. So therefore, he's a formidable force here. DMK alliance, DMK plus. I'm not saying DMK alone. As an alliance, they're a formidable force. And on the other side, what has happened to BJP is, they got a new spring in their feet following the massive success they got in latest is Delhi elections. Before you saw in Maharashtra, before that Haryana. So the after the bit of a setback in parliamentary election, they got their mojo back. BJP now, after winning 3 states, is really hoping to make it big in the coming days. So the only major election they are going to face now is Bihar this year. So therefore, they have turned their attention in the meanwhile towards Tamil Nadu, and they seem to be focusing so that they carve out something here, and that seems to be therefore you have two major political forces facing each other. That's why you're seeing these things almost getting explosive.
Cool. So thank you very much. Insightful talking to you. Thank you.
Thank you.